Welcome everyone. Come on up to a comfortable seated position if you're not there already. Feel free to elevate your hips by sitting up on a cushion or blocks or a bolster. You can cross your ankles in front of your pubic bone or slide your lower legs behind you if you'd like to sit up on your knees. So I always share my journey in yoga with all of you in the hopes that it inspires you. And so earlier today, I was feeling really irritable and just couldn't shake it. So as usual, I just rolled out my mat because that's my go-to. That's like taking a vitamin for me. Whenever I need to shake up my energy or shake up how I'm feeling or just catch up with myself and center myself, I roll out my mat. That is that's my vitamins. So maybe for you, that's why you're here, or maybe not. Maybe it's a good reminder for next time you're just feeling off center or a little irritability, frustration, or anything else that starts to bubble up inside. Roll out your mat, because afterwards I just felt so much more aligned, so much more like little things don't matter. It just put everything in perspective and gave me a chance to catch up with myself. So without further ado, let's practice so that you too can start to feel the effects of our beautiful sacred practice of yoga. So we'll start in a seated position. If you're not there already, come on up to sit on your on your sits bones, so you can remove the flesh from underneath you if you need to. And then whenever you feel ready, your eyes can close, hands rest on your lap. And let's take a moment in silence to arrive here. Take a big breath in through your nose and a slow breath out through the nose, allowing your muscles to soften. And keep breathing just like that, in and out through the nose. Slowing the breath down on the exhale. And on the inhale, notice how your muscles, your torso, your rib cage expands. And on the exhale, feel the difference, a slight softening in the muscles. And keep breathing just like that for a few more rounds of breath. Inhale, taking in this moment, this space we're co-creating together, and exhale, letting go of anything that came before this moment, really dropping into the present, dropping into your body. Couple of more rounds of breath. And as you breathe those last couple of rounds, you might experience a deeper sensation on the inhale. And maybe you can slow down the exhale so it's slightly longer than the inhalation. And then once you exhale that, your next exhalation, let your breathing return to its natural pace. Bring your hands together in Anjali Mudra right at your heart center. And set an intention for practice. Let's chant the sound of Om. Inhale. Bow your head towards your heart. Hands can come down onto your lap. And crack your eyes open. Great. For those of you following along with the Spotify playlist, we'll start it together on a count of 3, 2, 1, play. Now I'm going to move back. You can stay seated. We will start in a seated position with ankles crossed in front of the pubic bone, hands on your lap to start off with. And just begin to circle your spine in one direction. It doesn't matter which direction. We're going to switch it up in a moment. But just starting to cruise around the circumference of your pelvis. Where do you notice a stretch happening naturally? You might start to notice a slight contraction in the core muscles as you go back. And then come on back to center, swap the crossing of your ankles, and then go in the opposite direction with your circling. Notice if anything feels different, if you're experiencing a natural stretch somewhere else. And again, that slight contraction of the low belly as you go back. Just starting to wake up the spine, the hips, and Kundalini Shakti, your life force energy coiled at the base of your spine, your first chakra, starting to wake her up. Now start to come back to center. Find your neutral spine with your shoulders right about over your pelvis. And then inhale, the arms reach out and all the way up. Interlace your fingers, place them behind your head. On your next inhale, send your heart forward, tailbone back, leaning back into a seated cow pose. And on your exhale, coil in, tuck your tailbone, chin to chest, elbows hug the ears. Inhale to arch, elbows reach away. Exhale, coil in and engage the low belly. Feel that slight contraction in the core. Inhale, arch. Exhale, coil in and contract the low belly. Now synchronize your movement with your breath. The breath drives the movement. So the breath goes first and then the movement follows. Again, warming up the spine, starting to warm up even the shoulders and the shoulder blades. One more round. And after your next exhale, come back up to neutral spine and float your arms down by your sides. Inhale your right arm out to the side, all the way up overhead, arch over to your left, and then just pause there for a moment. Make sure your shoulders are in the same line, stacked on top of each other. You can look up towards your palm, your right palm. I'm mirroring you. And then just start to swim like a backstroke or circle your arm as if you were swimming backstroke. And again, you can like look up towards the ceiling, keep your neck long. And then the next time your arm comes alongside your ear, pause, reach your fingertips away, take a big breath, fan out the right rib cage. Exhale, float the arm all the way down, slowly matching the slow breath. Inhale, the left arm sweeps out and up, lift out of the waist, arch over to your right. And again, just make sure the shoulders are in the same line. Look up towards your left palm. And then as if you were swimming backstroke, start circling the arm, warming up the shoulder. And the next time your arm sweeps across alongside your ear, pause, take a big breath, fanning out the rib cage. And exhale, the arm floats down. Inhale, both arms reach out and up. Exhale, rotate to the right, float the arms down, look back gently. Inhale, unwind through center, arms reach up alongside the ears. Exhale, rotate to the left, look back. Inhale, unwind through center, reach up. Exhale, rotate right. Inhale through center. Nice. Exhale, rotate left. Again, warming up the spine all ways it moves. Inhale through center. And then exhale, palms touch, slide them down to your heart. Now bring your hands behind you. Bring your feet out about a little more than hips distance apart. So if I were to face this way, you can see my hands a little further back than my shoulders. Your fingertips can face forward or out to the side, whatever feels better. And then just start to windshield wipe your knees from left to right. Just waking up the hips. And then start to make your way back to center. Walk your feet in so they're about hips distance apart. You can turn your palms or your fingertips forward and then just scoop your tailbone forward and up, just lifting to that first gradient of sensation. Use your glutes here. Inhale and then exhale. Lower your tailbone down, but sweep it back. So you're engaging your core muscles. Lift your tailbone off the ground, so push the ground away. Inhale, scoop forward. And you're like grazing the earth with your booty. And then exhale, grazing the earth, go back. But see if you can lift your bum off the ground. Use your core. One more time. Inhale, scoop forward and up. Alter pose. Use your glutes. Exhale, go all the way back. Now use your core to lift your butt off the ground about an inch. One more breath. And then exhale, bring your sits bones down. Inhale, the arms reach all the way up alongside the ears. Exhale, keep a soft lock in your knees and just fold forward over your legs. You can round your spine, chin to chest. Inhale, roll up your spine, arms reach out and up. Exhale, fold over your legs. Bend your knees as much as you like here. Let's do that a couple of more times. Inhale, rolling up the spine, reach the arms out and up like a big sun breath. And then exhale, folding over your legs. One more, inhale, roll up. Exhale, fold over your legs. Okay, inhale, roll up again. This time, bend your knees. You can scooch to like the middle of the mat. Bend your knees, clasp behind your thighs, rock back onto your tailbone. Now, draw the low belly in, draw the low ribs in. So all of your core muscles are really firm. That's going to protect your lower back. And come up onto your tippy toes, okay? Notice if you're clenching your jaw, your shoulders, even your thighs, and see if you can let all that go. Use all of that effort in your core instead. So redirect that effort to your core. And then inhale, lift your right low leg up, parallel to the earth. Exhale, tap it down. Inhale, the left lower leg. Exhale, tap it down. Keep lifting your heart so your spine stays straight. Inhale, right. Exhale, down. Inhale, left leg. Exhale, down. Now both lower legs, or you can stay one at a time, or both up and then both down. Keep lifting your heart. Use your core. Inhale and exhale it down. Couple more rounds. Relax the shoulders. Notice your jaw. One more. Okay, now this time, lift your low legs. You can stay right here, or you can release the grip on your legs and reach your arms forward. Take a breath here, Navasana, boat pose. Lift your heart, lift your crown. Big breath in. And then exhale, cross your ankles and roll over onto your hands and knees. Set yourself up in tabletop. And just make sure your hands are a little further forward than your shoulders, okay? Now from here, walk your knees apart a little bit, maybe about mat's distance apart. Point your toes and sit back to child's pose. Hips towards your heels. Walk your arms a little bit further forward if there's space for it. And bring your forehead down. Exhale all of the breath out. Inhale, come up through tabletop. Keep this form and dip your hips forward. Bend your knees, toes touch at the back. Now heart pressing through the frame of your shoulders. Draw your low belly in. Lift the crown of your head. At the same time, push the earth away with your palms. Take a deep breath. And then exhale, go all the way back to child's pose. So that's our flow for the next few rounds. Inhale, come forward. Bend your knees, draw the low belly in, heart forward, crown up. Exhale, go all the way back to child's pose. 3 more times. Inhale, coming forward. Exhale, going back. Synchronize your movement with your breath. Let your breath be the guiding force, the driving force. 1 more. And don't worry if you're going at the same tempo that I'm going at, or maybe you're going faster or slower, as long as your movement and your breath are synchronized. Now from child's pose, look forward between your thumbs and glide forward onto your front body. Point your toes back, hands right underneath your shoulders. Now gently press your hands into the earth, peel your head and heart. So you're using your upper back a little bit more than you're using your hands. Draw the low belly in, use your glutes here a little bit, just engage the glutes a bit, and press the top of your feet and thighs down into the mat. Inhale here for Bhujangasana, baby cobra. Exhale, lower down. 2 more, inhale, peel your head and heart. Long neck. Exhale, lower down. Last one, inhale. Strong upper back. Exhale, lower down. Tuck your toes, cruise up through table and lift up to downward facing dog. Now this might be your first down dog of the day, so keep your knees as bent as you're comfortable with. Or maybe you'd like to pedal out your feet, lifting and lowering one heel at a time. Yogi's choice. And if today you'd like something a little more gentle, you can always come down onto your knees, walk your hands out and take puppy pose with your tailbone up towards the sky, your heart and chin down towards the earth. So again, you get to choose, you get to discern what's right for your body at all times. All right, if you're in downward facing the dog, start to make your way to stillness. Keep a soft block in the knees. Press the earth away with your palms. Lengthen your tailbone up towards the sky. Lower your heels down towards the ground and wrap your armpits in towards your neck. Draw the low belly in. And then inhale, reach your right leg up towards the sky. Lead with your heel. Exhale, knee to nose, shift forward, shoulders over wrists, firm up your core. Inhale, sweep your leg up, lengthen through your heel. Exhale, knee to nose, shift forward, strong core. 1 more, inhale, all the way up, this time hold it. Press the ground away with your hands, lengthen through your right heel. Now bend your right knee and peel your right hip back like you're stacking it on top of the left. Then even out your shoulders. You might need to lift the left shoulder a little bit and lower your left heel. Take a big breath here. As you push the earth away with your hands, lengthen your right knee up towards the sky. Inhale. And then on an exhale, bring your right knee forward towards your navel and step your foot inside your hand, inside your right hand for a low lunge. Lengthen from left heel, pressing back to crown, reaching forward. Take a big breath. And then exhale, drop the back knee down. Inhale, reach your arms out to the side, all the way up overhead. Anjaneyasana. Exhale, cactus your arms and rotate to the right. Just as much as you can, right? It might just be a tiny bit at this stage. Inhale, unwind through center, reach your arms up. Exhale, cactus your arms again, but lean back like there's an imaginary beach ball between your shoulder blades. Inhale, reach your arms up, and then exhale, sweep them all the way down, frame the front foot, lift your back knee, step back. downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths here to reset. Find your way back to stillness. Make any little adjustments. And on your next inhale, float the left leg up. Lead with the heel. Exhale, knee to nose. Shift forward. Strong core. Inhale, float your leg up. Exhale, knee to nose. Draw the low belly in. One more. Inhale. This time, hold it. Bend your knee. Left heel to left buttocks. And then see if you can peel your left hip back a little bit. Again, start to even out the shoulders. You might need to lift the right shoulder. Soft lock in the right knee. Push the earth with your palms. Lengthen through the left knee. Take a big breath here. And then on your exhale, bring the left knee towards your navel and step inside your left hand. Low lunge. Right heel pressing back, crown reaching forward. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, right knee down. Inhale, reach your arms out and up, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, rotate to the left and cactus your arms. Inhale, unwind through center, arms reach up alongside the ears. Exhale, cactus your arms again and lean back over that imaginary beach ball. Low belly drawing in. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, float the arms down, frame the front foot. Lift your back knee, step back, downward dog. Take a few breaths here, once again, readjusting, finding your way back to down dog. You can always bring your knees down and take child's pose or puppy pose. Listen to your body, make sure you honor what it needs. Okay, come back to stillness. And on your next inhale, ripple forward into plank pose. Heels press back, crown reaching forward, low belly draws in. On an exhale, knees come down, hips go back, child's pose. Inhale, look forward, and then glide forward onto your low belly. This time, bring your hands down by your sides, palms face down. Then inhale, peel your head and heart. You can press the ground away a little bit and lift your legs and feet. Use your glutes. Point your toes back so your legs are active and energetically press your heart forward, crown of the head lifting up. And use your glutes again and the back of your thighs. Low belly draws in to protect the lower back. Little sips of air here. You can turn your eyeballs up so all the energy is lifting up. The flow becomes the flow of your breath. So keep the breath steady, one more breath, and then exhale, lower everything down. You can bring your hands right underneath your third eye. So palms facing down, stacked one on top of the other, third eye on your hands. And then just start to wiggle your hips from left to right. Pause right here. And take a couple of deep breaths. This is called crocodile breathing. So as you breathe in, feel your diaphragm pressing into the firm earth. And as you breathe out, slow down the breath. Just notice the natural contraction in your belly. Breathe in deeply, pressing the belly into the earth. And exhale slowly. Take a couple of more breaths here. It's a really great strengthening exercise for your diaphragm, for your whole respiratory system, really. You feel the front body pressing into the earth and the back body rising on the inhale. And on the exhale, everything just softens and contracts. One more round. All right, hands underneath your shoulders, tuck your toes, and then get back up to downward facing dog. On your inhale, reach your right leg out and up towards the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose, shift forward, step your foot inside your right hand. Set up your low lunge. You might want to take a little bit of a wider stance. And then root your feet down. Inhale, sweep your arms out and all the way up. Come to a high lunge. Soft lock the left knee. Arms reach up alongside your ears, low belly draws in, front knee is bent right about over your front ankle. Inhale, lengthen up out of the waist through the fingertips. Exhale, rotate to the right and cactus your arms, just like we did in Anjaneyasana. Inhale, unwind through center, arms reach up. Exhale, cactus your arms, lean back over that imaginary beach ball. Inhale, arms reach up. And then exhale, palms touch, slide them right down to your heart. Rotate to the right. You can stay upright like this, or you can hook your left elbow over the left knee. So whatever you do, press the left heel back. And if you are in the same position that I'm in, hooking the elbow, you might want to press your palms together, lengthen your crown forward, heel back, draw the low belly in, no matter what variation you're taking. Deep breath. And then exhale, unwind, bring the hands down, frame the front foot. Step back, downward dog. Take a couple of breaths here, readjusting yourself in down dog. One more breath. Then inhale, the left leg sweeps up towards the sky. Exhale, knee to nose. Step your foot inside your left hand. Set up your low lunge. If you need to, take a wider stance. And then inhale, rise up to high lunge. Take a moment here. Make sure that your legs are firm and rooted to the earth, stable foundation. Then arms reach up, soft lock in the right knee. Inhale, lengthen up out of the waist, draw the low belly in. Exhale, rotate to the left, cactus your arms. Inhale, unwind through center, arms reach up. Exhale, cactus your arms, lean the upper body back over that beach ball, draw the low belly in, really isolating the upper back. Inhale, arms reach up, palms touch. Exhale, slide the hands down to your heart. Inhale, lengthen through the crown. Exhale, rotate to the left and stay there, or hook your right elbow over your left knee. Whatever you did on the other side, do the same on this side. Everybody draw the lower belly in, lower ribs in, and then right heel presses back, crown reaching forward or up, depending on the position you're in. Palms press together. Inhale. And then exhale, unwind, hands come down, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, ripple forward into plank pose. Exhale, knees down, or if you want, you can take chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or baby cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Big breath here. Exhale it out. Slowing down the breath as much as you can, or smooth it out. One more breath. Now look forward, start to walk your hands towards your feet, and start to walk your feet towards your hands together. So you're in the middle of your mat in a forward fold. Inhale, come to a half lift, hands pressing into your shins. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, reverse the swan dive. Come up with a neutral spine. Palms touch overhead. Exhale, hands come down to your heart. You can stay right where you are. I'm just going to turn to face you. Moving into our balancing series. Find a drishti point on the wall in front of you or the floor a few feet in front of you. And your feet are about hips distance apart. Shift your weight to your left foot. And just pause there for a moment. Come up onto the toes of your right foot. Just keep your toes on the ground for a moment. And make sure that your left foot, the tripod of your left foot, big toe ball mound, the pinky toe ball mound, and the heel, the weight is evenly distributed. So it might not stay evenly distributed. You might be wobbling around, but this is just about awareness, right? Because that's going to help us to balance. And as you're aware of the felt sense of your weight in your left foot. Steady your gaze. Keep your eyes focused on your drishti point. Soften your gaze. And then bring your arms out to a T shape. And keep your arms active. So if they're a little loose, then just activate them a little bit by pressing your fingertips away. It doesn't have to be so much that you're creating tension, but just a little activation of the muscles. Now draw the low belly in, draw the low ribs in. Core muscles are engaged. And some of you might want to stay right here. This is great. We're still balancing. And others might want to just lift the right toes a little bit. Remember, you're using your core muscles. And others might want to take it all the way, knee coming up in alignment with the navel, and then back down. If you feel like holding the posture, you can either hold it with your knee parallel or in alignment with your navel, or you can hold it with your toes on the ground or closer to the ground. But for those of you that want a little bit of movement, feel free to tap down and lift up. And we're starting to work the core, whatever variation you're taking, okay? Remember, there's a soft lock in your left knee. Notice your shoulders if they can soften. Notice the sides of your neck and the base of your skull, if any softening can happen there, your jaw. And then whatever you're doing, just hold it for a moment, take a breath. Then exhale, bring your foot down, find your mountain pose, palms forward, feet hips distance apart, gaze is forward. Notice how you feel. You might notice the beat of your heart, the movement of your energy deep under your skin. Okay, inhale, the arms reach out and up, palms touch, get a little longer. Exhale, slide the hands down to your heart, Anjali Mudra. Find your drishti point again if you lost it, and then shift your weight to your right foot. And just come up onto your left toes for a moment. And again, start to balance on your right foot, just shifting your weight in the tripod of your right foot. Soft lock the right knee. Keep your glutes engaged. That's going to help you to keep your hips in alignment. And then engage the core muscles. Inhale, reach the arms out to a T shape, activating through the fingertips. And again, you can keep your toes on the ground, or you can just start to lift your left toes a little bit. No fuss in the eyes. Your eyes are just like cool as cucumbers, soft. The gaze is steady. Doesn't matter if you tip over or lose your balance. Your gaze is steady. Your breath is steady. And if you want to bring your knee up, whatever you did on the other side, see if you can do the same thing on this side. Notice if there's any tension in the neck, shoulders, jaw. And see if you can let that go. Like your upper body is just super cool, super chilled out. And the low body is just activated a little bit more. Your arms are activated. Gaze is steady. The breath is steady. And now you can hold it, or you can keep the movement going. Again, whatever you did on the other side. If you can't remember what you did on the other side, if you were lost in the moment, don't worry about it. Do what feels good on this side. That's all that matters. One more breath. And then exhale, bring your foot down, your arms down, readjust your weight so it's balanced between both feet, palms forward, Tadasana, mountain pose. Gaze is forward. Notice how you feel. Big breath in through the nose. Sigh out through the mouth. Inhale, float your arms out and all the way up. Exhale, swan dive. Soft lock in the knees. Spine is in neutral. Fold. Inhale, palms, press your shins, come to a half lift. Exhale, release into the fold. Now step back, plank pose. Bring your knees down, hips back, child's pose. Take a couple of breaths here. Coming back to the earth. And then when you're ready, inhale, roll up your spine, one vertebra at a time, coming to rest on your heels. Great. Now, for those of you that have a bolster, I'm going to give you a variation of what we're doing next with the bolster. You don't have to use a bolster. I will also give you 2 different variations without the bolster. So, moving into Kapotasana, pigeon pose. Now you have 3 choices. You can do the traditional pigeon without a prop. So you would slide your right knee towards your wrist, pivot your right lower leg to the left, and walk your left leg back. So you're in pigeon pose. And if you have a gap underneath your right buttocks, you might take a blanket or cushion or even a block and just fill in the gap so your pelvis is in neutral. And then you can stay upright or come down onto your forearms. Maybe stack your fists one on top of the other and rest your third eye, or even put a block underneath your third eye. Okay, so that's the first option. The second option is to come onto your back. Then take a figure 4. This is reclined pigeon. Draw the knee in, and you're still getting the same stretch in your hip, okay? Option number 3 is a restorative option with the bolster. So the bolster's on the mat, kind of in the middle of the mat in a horizontal angle. And then from here, you just step your foot over the bolster. The feet start to, again, move your lower leg to the left, knee comes to the right. So the bolster is under your pelvis. Your pelvis is hoisted up by the bolster. Left toes are pointed back. And for this, you can keep your hands on the ground and keep your torso upright. Or you can take a block, place it underneath your third eye, your brow, and just rest like this. So you have choices. Move into whichever variation you like. And if you need to try one out and it's not working for you, you can move into a different one. Give yourself a moment, and we're going to be here for about 30 seconds. So just make sure that although you're feeling the stretch, whatever muscles you don't need can relax. So that might be the features of your face, your jaw, your shoulders. Smooth, steady breath. Even if you're just taking little sips of air, if you feel winded, the breath is still as smooth as possible. One more breath. And then slowly start to walk yourself back up onto your hands. If you're in the variation of pigeon with or without the bolster in this position, shift your weight over to one side. Slide your lower leg forward. And then swap sides. So if you're on the bolster, you might want to start from the beginning. Come to this side of the bolster. Step your left foot over. If you're not using a bolster, start in tabletop and draw your knee forward. And then pivot your front foot over to the right, knee to the left, and march your right knee back. Okay, so your pubic bone, your pelvis is on the bolster. And again, you can either stay upright or come down onto a block or onto stacked fists. Okay, so we're going to take a moment to get situated and see if you can find a little bit of stillness. Notice your breath, breathing space into any of the tight corners of your body. It might be your left hip, but it might be somewhere else. Maybe imagine breathing into your neck, or imagine breathing into your solar plexus. Releasing any muscles that you don't need to use here, softening wherever you can. And then start to take one more breath here. And then begin to walk yourself back up. If you're on a bolster, shift your weight to your left hip, slide your leg forward. And if you're not on a bolster, we're all going to meet together without the bolster. We're all going to meet in the middle of the mat on our knees in a high kneeling position. Okay, so if your knees feel sensitive, you might take a blanket and place it underneath your knees. And then knees and thighs are about hips distance apart, hands on your lower, a little below your lower back, on your sacrum, right? The back of the hips. Fingers facing down, elbows pointing back. They might be pointing out to the side more, just enough so you feel an expansion across the upper chest. And then gently lift your heart. You might imagine a marionette string on your heart center, as if someone were pulling that marionette string slowly up towards the ceiling. So there's a natural curve in the spine. You don't have to go any further than that natural curve. Keep drawing the low belly in to protect the low back. For those of you that want a little bit more stretch, you can reach back for your heels. You might tuck your toes under to bring the ground closer to you. And then option to look down towards your heart center, look up at the ceiling with a long neck, or let your head go back. Now engage your glutes. Draw the low belly in. Take one more breath wherever you are. And on your exhale, lower your tailbone down towards your heels. Come forward into tabletop. Point your toes back. And then sit your hips back, take child's pose. Big breath in. Slow sigh out. Your next inhale, roll up your spine one vertebra at a time. Good. Shift your weight to one side, slide your feet out in front of you. You can remove the blanket now. So this next variation you can do with or without a bolster. With a bolster, you're going to feel more of a heart opening. And without a bolster, you just might not feel as much. So take the bolster behind you, but long ways, so your spine can rest on the bolster. And then you're going to sit on the mat right at the edge of the bolster. So you're not sitting on the bolster, you're sitting in front of it. Now, feet can come together, knees apart in Baddha Konasana. And I recommend if you have blocks, slide them underneath the outside of your knees. That just allows your hips to open, because your body feels safe and supported so it can let go, right? And then from here, you can lie back on the bolster. If you don't have a bolster, you can just lie back on the ground and take reclined Baddha Konasana. If you are on the bolster, explore what angle you'd like your arms at. So do your best to feel a stretch without feeling like your arms are hanging off the shoulder joint, okay? So it's a subtle sensation, right? Just an expansion across the upper chest. So for me, that means my arms are down a little bit more. If I bring my arms up too high, it really feels like they're hanging off of the shoulder joint. And we don't want that. We don't want that. Just a subtle, gentle expansion. Neck is long, so you might want to tuck your chin under or in a little bit. Tuck your chin in a little bit. And you can soften your gaze or close your eyes. Notice your breath. And begin to deepen your breath if you haven't already. Imagine the inhalation going all the way down to your pubic bone and breathing deeply all the way up to your collarbones. And then slowly exhaling out from collarbones all the way back down to the pubic bone. So just imagine the breath were that long and it had the capacity to go from pubic bone to collarbones. And each time you exhale, think about softening or letting go into the moment, into this posture. I'm just going to hold it for a few more rounds of breath. So if you lost that deeper connection to the breath, call it back in. Take 2 more rounds of breath at your own pace. Last round of breath. And slowly exhale the last breath out. Let your breathing return to its natural pace, its natural rhythm. And then draw your knees together, soles of the feet on the floor, and slowly roll over to one side. You're rolling off of the bolster, maybe if you're using a bolster, so go slow. Move any props away. Then press yourself up just enough to roll the bolster out of the way and come back down to lie on your back. You might want to grab a block. Keep it to one side. Keep it to your right side. And straighten your right leg along the mat and hug your left knee in towards your chest. And then from here, send your left knee over to the right and let it land on the block, okay? If you are using a bolster, you can slide the bolster in here instead. So again, you have choices depending on how much height you need underneath your knee. Just allow your left leg to rest on a block or a bolster. Give it that support so your body can truly release. If your left shoulder is peeling off the ground, place your left hand on your left rib cage. Right arm can be out to a T or a cactus. An option to turn your head to the left. Your right leg is long. Lower belly draws in. Deepen your breath, fanning out the left rib cage with air. Feel free to close your eyes or just soften your gaze. One more deep breath here. And as you exhale, draw the low belly in and use that strength in your core to float your left knee up through center, roll onto your back. Give a little squeeze, hugging the knee in towards your chest. Exhale the breath out. Inhale, straighten your left leg. You might want to readjust your pelvis. If you are using a prop, roll it over to the left side now. Just set it up. And then when you're ready, hug the right knee in and send it over to the left. And let it rest on a block or the bolster. Bring your arms out to a T or a cactus. And then if your right shoulder is peeling off the ground, hand on your rib cage, option to look over your right shoulder. If you need to bump your left hip over to the right an inch or so, go ahead. Just notice what that feels like. Left leg is long. Begin to deepen your breath. On the exhale, softening your gaze and your whole body. One more round of breath. And as you exhale, get to the bottom of the exhale, draw the low belly in. Use the strength of your core to lift your knee up through center. Readjust your hips, hug the knee in. Exhale the breath out. Inhale, straighten your right leg along the mat and set yourself up for Shavasana. Maybe your arms are down by your sides. If you like, you can cover up with a blanket or an extra layer. And feel free to slide a prop underneath your knees if your lower back feels a bit sensitive today. Just readjust your pelvis, readjust your shoulders so you can truly let go of all the fidgeting and relax into stillness. Notice your back body from your heels, all the way up your legs, all the way up your spine to the back of your head. Relax your arms. And then soften your front body. Lower belly, up to your heart, your throat, face. Release your tongue and your jaw. Your breath is in its natural rhythm. No need to deepen the breath. Keep your breath steady, organic. Nothing left to do now but relax and receive the benefits of your practice in Shavasana. Slowly begin to deepen your breath. Start to wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Invite in any other subtle movement, like rolling your head from left to right, or circling your wrists and your ankles. The next time you take a big breath in, float your arms up over your head alongside your ears and get a stretch like you're just waking up. On an exhale, hug both knees in towards your chest and roll over onto one side into fetal position. Pause there. And very slowly, when you're ready, use your top hand to press the earth away. Peel up sideways to a comfortable seat for a final closing. Beautiful. Once you're comfortably seated, find a little bit of stillness. Hands can rest on your lap. Your eyes can close, or you can soften your gaze downward. Notice the alignment of your spine. Crown naturally reaching up towards the sky. And a relaxed presence. Notice how you feel. Notice if anything has shifted within you from the start of our practice when you arrived till now. And remember that your yoga mat is your sanctuary. It's where energy medicine is available to you anytime you roll it out. So the next time you feel like you're off center, roll out your mat and move in whatever way feels good. Bring your hands together at your heart center. Let's close this practice with the sound of Om. Inhale. Bow your head towards your heart. Thank you all so much for sharing your practice and your energy with me. I bow to the divinity within you. Namaste.